How's it going, ladies and bruises? I'm Poppy Sixkilla and welcome back to the life and suffering of Sir Brante. We are in youth now, we're an adult, and we're all alone, kind of, in the capital city. Alone being Thomas is here, but we haven't seen him for a while now. And we made some friends, that's cool too. You're on your way to the largest library in Eterna to study for your entry exams. It's right next to the college. The streets are full of people, everyone's excited. You hesitate for a few seconds, then let your curiosity get the better of you and head toward the place where you will soon study. Before long, you hear the shouting. The Great Chancellor is about to give a speech about the future of the Empire. You cannot possibly miss this. You mix with the crowd and soon find a convenient place to listen and watch what is about to unfold. On the steps of the college, you see a small tribune, guarded by two Arknians armed with swords. This is the first time you've ever seen an Arknian standing guard, let alone two of them. The doors of the college open to reveal a stately Arknian, surrounded by an honor guard. It is he, Cornelius Tempest, Great Chancellor of the Empire, younger brother to the Emperor himself. He heads for the tribune and casts a look over the square. It is full of people in awe and utter silence. Long ago, humans witnessed the Arknians' arrival. The two nations built the empire side by side. The provinces joined us one by one, and Magra was the final province to attain the absolute might and majesty of the blessed Arknian Empire. Yet, there was another great event long before that. 1,000 years ago, the twins had graced us with their presence. With their arrival, the twins granted us their will. They showed us their love and their law. They granted us knowledge of what awaits in the hereafter. They chose the dynasty of the Tempest to rule the Empire, and from that day forth, our dynasty has ruled this land, ordained by the gods themselves. However, it is our duty to the twins not to seek power for power's sake, but rather to lead the Empire to future prosperity. And so, the Great Imperial Council is soon to review and adopt a new set of laws called the Creed. Under the Creed, all estates will be granted rights. Under the Creed, there will be one law for all Imperial citizens to obey, human or Arknian, from the lowliest commoner to the Emperor himself. The strife among the estates will end. A single law will resolve all of our quarrels. Glory to the Empire. The Great Chancellor throws his arms in the air. The crowd murmurs and applauds in approval. Cornelius Tempest casts another look over the crowd and leaves. The crowd disperses. The sounds of agitated discussions are everywhere. Is it true that the Emperor's dynasty seeks to grant equal rights to all estates? So what will happen to the Empire then? Power goes up. It is early morning. You've been awoken. You have been awake since sunrise, studying. There is a knock at the door. Is it a letter from home or a hotel servant? You open the door and freeze, stunned. Hello, Brante. Before you stand Sophia, the girl who used to live next door. She's all grown up now. She looks so different, but you would always recognize those blue eyes no matter what. You gesture for her to come in. Sophia enters the room, glances around and sits in an armchair. You eye the girl you used to know as you sit across from her. The young woman you see now has little in common with the girl you used to know. There is a cold steel in the way she looks at things. Her hair is cut short. But what is she doing here? I can explain. I've been living in Eterna for a long time now, ever since I ran from Anazot. I heard the other day that you'd left for the capital to get into the college, so I found you. And here I am. You ask Sophia how she learned about your arrival, and where you're staying, but she answers your question with an enigmatic smile. We'll get to that later. Right now, I want to see how much you've changed since last we saw each other. As for me, I've changed a lot. I'm a whole different person now. You look away as you recall your previous encounter back when Sophia ran away from her Arknian master. Sophia chuckles as she continues. Would you like to know what happened next? I travelled through the entire empire all alone. I had nothing. My journey ended only when I reached this place, the capital, with all its important people and events. This is the heart of the empire. It is a place where I can make a difference. I've made friends here, found people I can truly call family. I've even got an education of sorts. And I have a purpose now. I fight against injustice. I fight against the lots. I fight those who treat our lives like mud on the pavement. And no, I'm not afraid to tell you that. I came for a good reason. I need help. I know you. I have faith in your good heart, and besides, this is also about the Imperial College you want to enroll in. There is a scholar there by the name of Bartholomew Dexter. He teaches natural sciences at the college. Dexter is an old man, but he's quite progressive. He'll stop at nothing to advance science and acquire new knowledge. As you know, only second-generation nobles or above are allowed to teach at the college, but Dexter, he is a commoner. He forged his patent of nobility to get a position at the college. But the secret chancery recently learned of this. Dexter is about to face true death for this forgery. But how is that justice? A man wants to teach people, and for this they're going to take all his lives? They're going to punish him for the crime of being born in the wrong estate? It's evil and obscene, and I will not stand for it. Dexter deserves to be rescued. But I don't want to put anyone in danger, so I need your help. You're from a rich family. You're almost a noble. If you help me get Dexter out of the city, nobody will suspect anything. No one will know, and the scholar will live on to continue his research elsewhere, far away from the secret chancery. Will you help me? You feel perplexed by Sophia's sudden request. She is asking you to break imperial law and undermine the work of the secret chancery to save the scholar. Rescuing Dexter would be an adventure, but it would also be incredibly dangerous, and besides, Dexter is a fake noble. He resorted to lies and deceit to get to his current position. How much does this matter to you? Sophia's blue eyes are studying you, waiting for your reply. Assuage your guilt? What is that? Sophia merciless. Of course I'll help you. Jesus. Hey, I'll get Valor up too. Hell yeah. I get Valor up that way too though. And diplomacy, which I'm good at, but okay. You know I can't say no. You promised to help Sophia. Bartholomew Dexter does not deserve this. He has to leave the capital. She can count on you. I knew I could count on you. Then we must act at once. There is no time to waste. Dexter is to be arrested tomorrow. Here's his address. Go there as soon as the sun sets. No one will suspect you. Dexter often tutors young men for the college entrance exams. Tell him the owl sent you. Use the back door to get out. A carriage will drive you up to the backyard. The driver will hoot like an owl. He'll take you to the south gate. If the guards stop the carriage, just talk your way out of it. I am good at that. Once you're outside the city, Dexter will ride away in a different carriage. You'll go back the way you came in. I'll meet you at Majesty Square. You nod to her words, and your hands start to shake. You're about to go against the secret chancery. You're going to help someone escape punishment. To defy your own lot like this, it's unthinkable. When the sun sets, you leave the lodging house and walk quickly, glancing over your shoulder repeatedly. Bartholomew Dexter's house must be somewhere around here. You find the place. A genteel old man opens the door. His face is covered in wrinkles. His shoulders are stooped, and yet his eyes are sharp and lively. Bartholomew Dexter looks at you for a moment, then asks why you've paid him a visit. You tell him you want to enroll in the college. You're looking for a tutor. Dexter nods and invites you inside. Once you make sure nobody else can hear or see you, you whisper to the scholar about the real reason for your visit. The secret chancery will be coming for him tomorrow, and he has to leave now to escape true death. Dexter freezes, then turns to you. How do you know about him and the secret chancery? You tell him that the owl sent you, and has provided for his escape. As for the secret chancery, they want him for forging a patent of nobility. The moment you utter Sophia's name, the lecturer calms down and starts packing for the journey. You watch him distractedly and notice that he lives in a rather austere fashion. It does not take him long to pack. You hear the quiet clacking of hooves in the yard. Carefully, you and Dexter proceed to the backyard of the building. You see a carriage there. The driver hoots quietly. You get in. The carriage rolls down the road. There is tense silence in the closed-off space inside the carriage. The scholar wrings his hands anxiously. Through the carriage windows, you see the massive city gate passing by. You're almost outside the city, but then a loud voice reaches you. Halt! The driver obediently halts the carriage. Two city gendarmes approach you. You leave the carriage to face the gendarmes before they can get a peek inside the carriage. They look you over and ask where you're going so late at night. You tell them you're the son of a judge in Magra, here to enroll in the college, and right now you wish to visit the estate of a newfound friend. To convince them further, you mention the name of a noble son you become friendly with. The gendarmes release the carriage and wish you a pleasant trip. You drive along the high road until you encounter a peasant wagon. Dexter will take it to seek refuge far away from the capital. Before the two of you part ways, he pats you on the shoulder and tells you that you've done a truly brave deed. You return to the city without incident. You find Sophia in Majesty Square as agreed, sitting on a bench by the streetlight, reading a book of some sort. She closes the book when she sees you and offers you her hand. So, did everything go according to plan? You nod. Then we've earned ourselves a bit of free time. Let's go. You set off on a walk through a maze of narrow back streets. Finally, you have some time for questions. What happened to Sophia over the last 2 years? She was just a girl before, a servant. How is she now a revolutionary? Sophia just smiles sadly. You've seen what I can do. I'm not just a girl. The Inquisition caught up with me when I ran away from Manazot. I ended up in the House of Humility, a dreadful place. I got collared. You know how it feels to lose your free will? Losing everything that makes you you? She unclasps the tall shirt collar that had been hiding her neck all this time, and you see a round mark from the anti-magic collar. They say a scar like this will remain even after a lesser death, but I got lucky. Patriarch Junius Diamant saved me. Diamant took me and the other mages from the House of Humility and removed our collars. He made me one of his attendants. He told me that there are no laws. He told me that I'm not like this because I'm a freak, but because it's my nature. He told me I can find a path to the twins like anyone else in the world. And that I was taken. Then I was taken. I got out on my own. I found my own lot. To protect the common people from the noble yoke. To help others who are as unlucky as I am. To fight for a different world, a world where everybody has equal rights. A world where mages don't get robbed of their will just because of one aspect of their birth. A world where nobles no longer tread upon the commoners. Yes, this is our dream, but we're still so far away from it. But I will keep moving toward it and stop at nothing. A strange, distorted expression appears on Sophia's face, but she quickly returns to normal. You keep walking until you're at your lodging house again. For a moment, you just stand there looking at each other. Then suddenly Sophia embraces you. For a moment, she remains still in your arms and whispers, "You should join my cause. If we work together, one day we'll become a force to be reckoned with. I know you came here to find your way, but I'll never believe you really want to bind yourself to other people's laws and desires for the rest of your life. The path I walk is dangerous. It's almost hopeless, but it's worth living for. Think about it. Goodbye." Then she withdraws just as quickly and disappears in the dark streets of Eterna. You make your way back to your room, exhausted by the events of the day. Was this really just a single day in your life? Scheming up and Valor up. My scheming's pretty good too, honestly.
I will never forget that day. For it was then that I chose the path I would walk for the rest of my life.
What's happening? There are only a few days until the Imperial College exam, history, law, theology. You spend all day reading and rereading the books you brought with you, staying at the library of Eterna for hours, sometimes until it closes. And as the day of the exam approaches, your hands start shaking more and more, and finally the day comes. A clear sky hangs over Eterna today. The breeze is warm. You dress in your best outfit, a grey jacket and velvet culotte trousers. You comb your hair carefully and polish your boots until they shine. You leave the lodging house and head for the Imperial College. Your legs grow heavier with each step. Your anxiety at the fact that your fate will be decided today is virtually tearing you apart. The college is a majestic building that looks not unlike a castle. In the square in front of it, you can already see several dozen people, young men, sons of nobles of the mantle like you, waiting for the college's doors to open. Time slows to a crawl. At last the doors open. A stately man dressed in a professor's mantle appears at the entrance. He is the dean of the college. The students-to-be fall silent as the dean gets ready to deliver his welcoming speech. But the silence is interrupted by heavy footsteps and clanking armor. A squadron of warriors emerge near the college, led by Arknian officers. Their banners bear an image of golden grains. The noble militia of the Monia province. What are they doing here? The nobles of Monia form a circle around the college, each warrior moving quietly and precisely until a chain is formed. One of the Arknians is clad in an old-fashioned suit of armor. He is the leader of the militia. He locks the bar on the massive doors of the college into place, then proceeds to the stairs to address the crowd loudly. "Commoners, before you stands Egrius of the Monrogue dynasty, Archduke of Monia. By my will, the college is hereby closed, and today's entrance exam is cancelled. Your lowly origins make you unfit for the great honour of rendering service to the Empire, a right that ought to be available only to the hereditary nobles of the sword. The college's reputation has been tarnished. It breeds mock nobles who bear not a trace of noble blood. You belong in the lowly estate, but have forgotten your place. Cornelius Tempest and other traitors to the Empire are indulging you in defacing the institution of the nobility for their lowly interests. A noble lot for those of lowly birth? How can this be? I will not stand for this disintegration of the Imperial Order. Now turn away from the college this instant and return to the humble trades of your ancestors. Plough your fields, mend your boots, and work and suffer by your lot. If any of you dares to set foot upon these stairs, you will be killed at once." The students-to-be meet this speech with a stunned silence. The crowd in the square is growing. However, the news of the Monian noble militia and the college's closing spreads throughout the streets like wildfire. More humans join the crowd. College students, commoners, officials who worked hard to be ennobled. Unrest grows around you. You hear people calling to rush Archduke Monrogue's forces to take control of the college and defend your right to become noble. The Emperor himself gave us this right. We have to fight for it. This is a decisive moment for all of you. The old gentry has challenged you. Will you accept this challenge? In the face of this shameful, illegal act by the Archduke's forces, you may prove that all of you deserve the noble lot. You will need to break through the cordon to get inside the college and take control of it. The nobles will never dare hurt you if your presence is strong enough. If you're ready to risk it all and fight for the right to nobility, you will have to lead the charge. People keep coming to the square in the meantime, including students and teachers from the Divine Seminary. The lot of the clergy is to guide others to the right path. When the estates clash, the priests are bound to intervene. The seminary teachers instruct their students to form a line between the noble militia and the outraged crowd. The priests begin telling the warrior nobles and the riotous commoners to return to the preordained divine order, lest they provoke the wrath of the gods. The wrath of the gods, as the priests utter these words. The crowd around you disappears. A vision appears before your eyes. The Empire is ablaze. You see burning lands steeped with pain and despair everywhere. You look, rivers overflowing to extinguish the burning world. You can tell that the soil is scorched by such fire, will never bear fruit again. The gods' given vision demands to be heard, demands to be prophesied to the world, but only a priest may speak to the twins and for the twins. Will you keep it inside, or will you step onto the path that the twins have revealed to you? Somebody shoves you in the back, and you snap out of the vision. You turn around to see a small but decisive troop of commoners moving quickly through the crowd. They're led by Sophia. As soon as she sees you, she signals to them to stop. So you're here too? Gonna rush the college, are you? Can't you see it already? The lords cannot be trusted. They gave you the right to study here, just to throw you a bone. When the going gets tough, your masters will take it all away. It's time for you to decide. We are the Lotless. We are not putting up with this system any longer. We will fight for a new world. Are you coming with us, or are you going to submit to them? Are they my only options? There are students and professors locked inside the college. Who knows how long Monroe will maintain this siege? And what if they start slaughtering people? Neither group of nobles will care what happens to them. We're going to go inside and pull them out. Come with us if you're ready to take control of your own destiny. The tension in the square is palpable and the situation is about to implode. Students, commoners, nobles of the mantle, followers of the new faith, all of them are gathering their forces to move on the wall of soldiers. They expect the nobles to let them through en masse. Surely they won't start a massacre. The Lotless, led by Sophia, prepare to break through the siege to rescue people in the college. And all the while, the priests preach peace to both sides of the conflict. The college is your only way to into the nobility. Only you can fight for your new lot and fulfill your duty to your family. You could organize an offensive strong enough to get into the college and thus seize your lawful right as a true nobleman. Yet the revelation about the wrath of the gods still pulses in your mind. Once revealed, this vision will take you on a different path. Standing with the priests and preaching what you have just seen, warning all of the dire danger on the path of warring estates, bringing the twins' word to the people and guiding them to salvation. Could this be your new lot? I don't think so. Sophia and the Lotless, they expect you to join their struggle. They're waiting for you to cast off the old ways and the eternal yoke of subservience. If you choose this path, you will not change your lot, and your suffering will continue. But your suffering might just change this world. This is the moment. Your future life will be decided here and now. I can't preach your revelation. Path of the nobleman, path of the priest, path of the Lotless. One of these must be true, diplomacy or valor. Alright, let's do the Lotless thing. God damn it. You have decided. The storm of doubt in your mind clears at last. You are done serving the will of others. You will defy your lot, and you will do, and you do not need another. You're free already, and for this freedom, you're ready to sacrifice anything. You walk to the Lotless as Sophia smiles at you softly. Your companions pat you on the shoulder, and then you get to work. The Lotless withdraw from the mob in the square and prepare for the raid. They're strong people of lowly birth, and their clothes are covered in dirt and soot. They hang on Sophia's every word. So the plan is simple. I will go to the warriors by the side gate and distract them. You know me. I have my ways. The rest of you must get inside the college and lead the people outside. When you're done, wait for my signal. Sparks of yellow flash in Sophia's eyes. She walks with confidence to the nobles guarding the side gate. They meet her with drawn swords. Then a flash of yellow light fills their eyes. The warriors freeze in place. Sophia walks away, and they follow her obediently. The path is clear. You hear one of the Lotless gasp in awe. That's our owl, all right. Only she can do that. It's time. You open the gate and get inside the college, leaving the cries of the mob behind you. Nobody stops you. Once this is done, you scatter to search the halls for students and professors. They are not too eager to trust trespassing commoners, but with Arknian swords hanging over their heads, they trust you anyway. Your student garb helps you convince them. You take everybody you can find out of the college through the same unguarded gate. The lotless take a roll call in an alleyway behind the college. You rescued almost 24 men. Sophia is the last to reach you. It's time to leave. The maze of hidden alleyways takes you safely to a patch of abandoned land. Sophia clambers up onto the half-crumbled wall of an old house. She lights her pipe and gestures confidently for everyone to come closer. Welcome all. We are the lotless. We are the people who will never stand for the injustice of the imperial system. We live as we see fit. We have no masters. Only our own free will. Join our ranks and you'll be forever free from the whims of the Arknians and the gentry. Walk away, and they will be free to do with you as they see fit. I believe today was a fair show of their intentions. The freed students exchange glances. If they join you, their hopes of being ennobled by the mantle will be cut short, but they already saw how precarious their position is. Many of them are enraged by the fact that the Arknians can take their rights whenever they please. We won't force you to stay. You're free to leave and go back to the college when it opens. If it opens. But if you don't want to dance to their tune anymore, the lotless welcome you. Many students join in the ranks of the lotless that day. You were among them. You are greeted by the motto of the lotless. Our cause is just. Your new life has begun. Your life as a member of an outlaw brotherhood. There's no going back. You'll be neither nobleman nor priest. Your father will never forgive you for letting the family down, but for the first time in your life, you feel truly free. You've defied your lot, now your fate is yours alone. What will happen next? Remain a commoner. Eh, that's okay. You return to the lodging house one last time to gather your belongings for the move to your new home. A young man dressed in the uniform of the military academy greets you by the door. It takes you a moment to recognize Thomas. Your friend locks you in an embrace. Brant, hey, how are you? I heard about the nasty stuff that went down in the college square. Those damn gentry would do anything to keep low-born folks under their thumb. Glad the situation resolved itself. As for me, I'm an academy cadet now. He's beaming with pride. You invite him in to chat while you pack. Thomas continues to relay the news as you walk up the stairs. I made it to the top 10. Can you imagine? I did pretty well in sparring and the sciences. It was all thanks to the help you gave him back in school in Anazot. I'll be studying the art of war now. And then it's a quick march to a noble title. How about you? You tell Thomas about what happened over the past few days and of the path you have chosen. He remains quiet as you speak. Both of you realize that you may never see each other again. You know, Brant, here's what I think. You may have your own path in life, but you're my friend. We've got to make sure our friendship lasts forever, no matter what happens to us. Here, I brought two brass rings. If the old tradition is to be believed, both the rings and their wearers will always remain close to each other, no matter where fate takes them. What do you say? The two of you grew up side by side. Thomas, the audacious, hot-blooded, sharp-tongued boy who used to live next door. You can't imagine your childhood without him. But would it be right to promise him that your friendship will last forever, no matter what happens? Two rings made of plain brass lie in his open palm. If you wear these, you will be bound by ties of friendship for the rest of your life. Why can't I swear an oath of friendship? Because I'm not a nobleman. But I can still do this one. Take the ring. Of course. He's my best friend. You take one of the rings from his outstretched palm. The two of you have walked side by side ever since you were children. Even though your paths in life may diverge, nothing will ever tarnish your bond. You're ready to preserve your friendship in brass forever. You put the brass ring on your pinky, a perfect fit. Thomas does the same. He starts beaming again. Now we're friends forever, for all eternity. We gotta celebrate this. Come on. Come, I know a place. I've gotta show you. Tastiest meat I've ever tried, Brant. My treat. The two of you go to a noble salon by the square of Emperor Severin. Surrounded by tobacco smoke and mead bottles, you wag your tongues, recall the days of your adolescence and make plans for the future. Nobody knows what could be waiting for you, but you promise you'll never lose sight of each other. You and Thomas form an unbreakable bond of friendship. As you do. You know. You write a letter home and tell them that you failed to get into college. There is no other way. Father would have learned everything one way or another. It isn't an easy letter to write. He did send you to the capital specifically to attend the college, after all. You wrote about Archduke Monroe's assault and the students' doubtful future, now that their right to be a noble by the mantle may be revoked. You tell them that you plan to get a job in the capital and earn a living. They should accept your choice. The reply from your family arrives very quickly. We sent you to the capital with a sole purpose, but you failed. Indeed, nobody expected an attack on the college, but you could have upheld your right to study there, had you been more firm. Cornelius Tempest will ensure the college opens again, yet you've already rejected the nobleman's lot, and to what end? I can only accept your choice now, but you will no longer receive any support from the family. It's up to you to earn your keep. I can only hope that you will not disappear in the capital. This entire siege incident is nothing but a poor excuse. You failed to uphold your right to enter the college, and that is the end of it. It cost Father so much time and money to send you to the capital, and you rejected it all. And for what? To remain a commoner until the end of your days? I hoped you would one day become my equal, but now the very thought of this is just absurd. There is another letter. It is from Gloria. It seems neither Father nor Stefan knew she sent it. Sir Robert smashed a vase when he read your letter. Stefan screamed at the top of his lungs about lowborn and foul bloods. Fortunately, I led Mother and Nathan away before we all got in trouble. But I'm proud of you. You defied Father's will. You went against all expectations, against this entire rotten system. You made this decision. Now follow it to the end. I believe this path will lead you somewhere worthy. Take good care of yourself, my brother. Oh yeah, it goes down again. She was already at +5. You cast one final glance over the room where you lived for so long. Here is the table at which you sat studying all those books. Here is the bed on which you dreamed your dreams of the future. Your things are packed. You walk down the stairs. The landlord's servile smile is gone now. The unspent remainder of the funds allocated for your accommodations drop onto the counter from his reluctant hand, and then he turns away. You have no lot now. You're free. Free even from the knowledge of your tomorrow. You've cast away your destiny, but for what? This remains to be seen. The Brante family will support you no longer, but you have to find a play to stay in the capital so you can aid the lotless. And so you seek Sophia. I'm afraid I can't offer you a noble estate, but we found a basement in an abandoned house and made it our home. It is on the bank of the Reglata, by the river port. It's livable. There's only one room for everyone, so bring your own bedding. But it's warm and clean, and we have food and a place to keep our things. You'll be safe. After all those carriage rides, going through the city streets on foot isn't half bad. The bayside wind still gets under your skin, but it also cools you down on hot days. Not that you need it. You were born at Anazot, in the very southernmost part of the Empire, and the hot season in the capital is nothing compared to the real heat in Magra. You recall all the hot days in the garden, sitting with Father and talking about the lots, about your future in the capital. He used to look at you with such pride. He was so confident you would follow in his footsteps. A chilling gust of wind snapped you out of it. Enough nostalgia. It's time to face the future you've chosen for yourself. The house where the lotless live is close to the port. The basement entrance is hard to find, but you eventually locate it. Inside is one large room with bedding and belongings strewn all over the floor. You find some free space in one of the corners, so you place your bedding and your things nearby. Then you take a good look around. There's only a handful of people in the building. You introduce yourselves to them. They show you the utilities, a small kitchen, and a room with a stove and several buckets of water. If you need more water, the river is right nearby. You ask them how long they've lived here. About 8 months, one of the lotless tells you. They took over this basement back when they only had 10 members. Most of them were more or less homeless, disowned by their families, expelled from the college, academy, or seminary. Sophia found a place where they could live together. Everyone sleeps in the basement and meets in the abandoned house above. Sophia certainly has thought for you in tone. That she is, your fellow lotless say. Nodding. She takes good care of us, but she's also really secretive and demands that we follow her orders to the letter. Even after all those months, nobody knows where she lives. She only shows herself when she deems it necessary. Soon you come to know the lotless better, and you see they truly believe in what they're doing. At present, they are trying to expand their ranks and convince the common folk that the present order in the Empire can and must be fought. You can do this. You have to believe you can do this. And you have to do whatever Sophia says. Why? She's not our fucking boss. Fuck that lady. Some of the students you rescued are also here. With their arrival, the ranks of the lotless practically doubled. The events at the college turned them against the current system. They're eager to act, and so are you. Sophia meets with every newcomer in private. It takes a few days before she finally speaks to you too. Sophia is sitting at a desk behind a pile of papers. She looks worn out, but still smiles at you. Hi. There's a reason I want to talk to you last. Our ranks are growing, but not everyone is as smart and learned and cunning as you. I need results and I expect them to get them from you. We have to tell the common folk the truth about what happened at the college. It doesn't matter how we do it, the lotless will never forget. And we will never forgive the nobles for what they did. We have to tell the people we exist, and we have to recruit new members. I know you can think of a way to do both. I expect a report in 1 week at our next meeting. Good luck. Sophia stops talking and looks at you. You nod. There's something else you want to tell her, but you have no plan just yet, and it seems she has no time for small talk. You leave the meeting room. What will you do now? How can you tell people about the lotless without everyone getting arrested? The best place to do this would be somewhere on the outskirts of the city, in the markets and taverns where commoners tend to gather. You spend the rest of the day strolling through the city streets. After a night of pondering, you have 3 ideas. Your first idea is the safest. Print a lot of leaflets and spread them all across Eterna. Tiny papers are easy to hand out, and all it takes is a few printed words that hit home, and a printing press. Can you even find a print shop that'll support your cause? Plan number 2. Talk about the lotless to anyone willing to lend an ear. This is a more reliable option. After all, people tend to believe other people more than words on a paper. It's more dangerous too. Easier to get to arrest an orator than an author, and your numbers are too few as it is. And then there's a plan number 3. The city is still abuzz after what happened at the college. Somewhere out on those frantic streets are people willing to heed your call. Instead of wasting time and effort telling everyone about the lotless, perhaps you should focus on recruiting. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's print leaflets. I think that's probably the best way to spread it. And we won't get arrested for it, as long as we can find the right place to print it. Printing leaflets is the safest way to go. They will tell everyone the truth about the events at the college, and you will stay safe all the while. Now to find a place to print them. Your newfound comrades give you the names of the editor of a local newspaper called Imperial Sunrise. He sympathizes with the lotless. He even gave Sophia shelter in their attic once during a raid. It's time to write the text that will be printed. The Arknians consider us dirt beneath their horses' hooves, and they will do anything to bring us down and stay in power. Do you know what happened at the college? Did you hear Archduke Monrogue mocking humans and threatening to kill anyone who entered the college? We did. Did you see him ready to kill innocent students inside the college before they were rescued? We did. Arknians think they can do whatever they want. Will you keep living under their thumb, or are you ready to make a change? This looks good. Sophia takes a look too and nods. She writes a brief note on a piece of paper and tells you to head for the editor's house. Give the note to the servant and everything will be ready. The editor lives in a wealthy neighbourhood. There are planters with flowers in them at every door on his street. The door knocker shines in the sun like a mirror. You glimpse your reflection in the metal before you grab it. A servant opens the door. He glances at the note and asks for the text to be printed. It'll be ready in a week, he says, and then the door is locked again. You return 1 week later and receive a big stack of leaflets. You divide them among the lotless. It only takes a single day to distribute them all. Rumour quickly fills the streets of Eterna. On the following day, you already hear people talking. No nobles have done it this time. We better do something. It's time for a change. The next time you meet Sophia, she rewards you with restrained praise. I don't like Sophia. I saved your ass twice and you're an asshole. Well done, Brucey. I expected nothing less from you. I'm glad to have you among us. I don't like you. She sucks. Alright, we need to wrap this one up. Damn, youth has taken ages. Hey, we're 18 now though. That's pretty cool. You have lived another year in the capital. Eterna has been shaken by what is now known as the Trial of the 50. 50 people stand trial at once, all prominent members of several political circles. They are accused of treason and conspiracy against the crown. The accused spoke in favour of reducing the power of the nobles and granting more rights to the common estate. There was no mention of rebellion, yet those words alone were enough to indict them. Every session of the trial is open to the public. It is a show of power made to discourage people from forming such circles ever again. You attend one of these sessions. The 50 face their verdict. Forced labour in the mines of Magra and Illyria for regular members, and true death for their leaders. 6 men and 1 woman. Their public execution takes place in the central square of Eterna. You remember the woman, her name was Annie Siren. She made a speech before her execution. A young woman, not too tall, her face almost plain, with long bangs over her eyes. She looks calm, even at this moment. You cannot believe she's about to leave this world forever. Annie Siren takes a look around before she speaks. Her voice is quiet, but you are close enough to hear every single word. She says she is happy to give her lives for fighting for the rights of people. Her cause will never die. Annie claims others like her will continue their work in hiding, for their cause is right and just. She is dragged away to the others. They put a sack over her head and tighten a noose around her neck. A hand yanks on the lever and the 7 dangle in the air. Their feet tremble at first, then grow still. There are gasps and cries of discontent in the crowd. Discontent goes up. Alright, we need to wrap this one up because we are shitloads out of time once again. I always let it run over because I'm just having too much fun, you know what I mean? Well, threw ourselves in with Sophia, but I don't like Sophia. Like, I'm totally on board with the cause, but I don't like Sophia. She acts like she's the noble of our group. I think everyone has to do whatever the fuck they want. It's like having my grandfather back again. Anyway, we'll overthrow her, and then we'll do equality, you know? We'll do equality. We'll do it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.